Hey guys, this is a vintage Gillette Tech thin handle. This is the fat handle, but it's a thin version of it, and that's because this is not a standard Tech. See right here, there's the lack of the contouring and structural stuff because this is a UK Tech, and it's the flat bottom Tech. You can see the rails there, the slots for the rails. Got a great plating on this razor. So here's what the base plate looks like. So that's very different than your usual American Tech. Oh, it's upside down. So it's got a great finish. The UK plating back in the day was just tremendous. Got my Nacet here. I have used it 231 times. We're heading to 240. Right? Yeah, 231. There's the little dots there. That's where I have to keep track on the little side flap there. I'm going to run out of space soon. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Maybe get another index card or get an index card or something like that. All right, so here is the blade. You can see on the bottom corner here where I dropped it. You can see the deflection and a slight warp in the blade, but it still shaves okay. It does give me a little different feel when I shave that area. There you can see the remnants of the X that I had on it from the beginning, and then quite a number of shaves ago I added those 3 dots for the same reason, to kind of have a little bit of a signature. I'm going to, for all the shaves, except for one, I've had those markings point toward the handle. I forgot to do that the other day because I was using a TTO, and I would need to load it with the markings facing down, but I load them so that I could show you the camera, and that ended up being opposite, and so that shave was wonderful. So apparently we are getting some wear on the blade. That little sharp edge, apparently maybe it's being worn down like that, so that if you flip it over you get a much better shave. It's kind of encouraging because I'm able to keep going now with it unflipped, and eventually maybe I can get to 50, 60, something like that, and then have to flip it. And I believe that when I flip it, I'll be able to go quite a few more shaves. It was very comfortable the other day when I flipped it. It was like night and day. The soap today is Fine Accoutrements, and I love their ceramic soap bowls that they made. It fits their puck exactly. I've had the puck under 4 teaspoons of water for a few minutes now while I've gathered all my stuff. Let me get my face wet. Water is cool and the water is hard. I have hard water here. I'm also using my big brush. This is one I'm just kind of playing with to see what I want to do with it. It's a 30 millimeter Maseto finest badger. You can see it's a finest or 2-band badger because the dark goes pretty much from the handle most of the way up instead of having a thin band of dark. Okay, so I'm going to take and pour the bloom water into my lather bowl. It's probably about 3 teaspoons. I imagine some of it got absorbed. You can see it's a fairly new puck. I still have the guy right there. This is the Aventus, the Creed Aventus clone that Fine does. It's platinum. Great scent, great scent. All right, let's just do a 25-second load. I don't think we're going to need very much. So 30 plus 25 is a 55. 55 is when we're going to stop. Love these ceramic lather bowls from Fine. They have little indentions on the bottom as well where they can be stacked. I guess they weren't very popular though, so they had to quit them. Went ahead and ordered a few of the colors, and there we go. That's 25 seconds, and that is the lather that we have. The soap does not appear very plentiful on the brush. All right, we'll rinse off the side of the container here. With this kind of slippery container, you could feasibly just use your towel to rinse off the suds instead of risking dropping it while it's slippery under the water. Once you've used that puck a few times, it'll stay in there nicely. Okay, so this is a firm brush. It has backbone. I don't really enjoy the handle all that much. I don't like the stubby, chunky handles. I do have a nice handle that's a 30 millimeter, and so if I find a way to enjoy this knot, then I might be in really good shape. Now, it's very bubbly. It's possible that I just put too much water here in the lather, so we're just going to work it and just see what happens. If you have these soap bowls, here's another tip. You can have like a 3D printed lid made for the top bowl. If you stack them, you still need to cover the top one if you want to prevent some washing off the handle. It's getting a little slippery and a chore to hold on to. You want to cover up that top one, right? So one way to do that, if you go, and I think it's a 3.5 ounce plastic tub, looks like a cup, but it's got a cap on it, of Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies, or any of the other items that are kind of with it, with that same size top, that will fit. The top will just sit nicely on the top of these the ceramic soap bowls. Pretty cool, huh? And one of them has a pure white top. And there's something else. Oh, you know what this white top is that I'm using? I think at the Dollar Tree or something, there are these little cans of, I don't know, like nacho cheese sauce or bean dip or something like that. And it's just a pure white top. And it just sits nicely on the top. It doesn't stay if you're flipping it around or anything, by any means, but it just rests, and so it helps to prevent the top soap from losing as much scent. Now, that was super bubbly that I showed you earlier. Now look at it. Looks pretty good. Looks a little wet, but you know what? If we just keep going on it just a little bit more. Also, we can do the plunge thing where I'm not actually causing the brush to flex very much, but what I'm doing is shoving the lather up through the brush, and then that can push out whatever's in the brush, whether it's concentrate, whether it's water. We just need to circulate everything. This is a bowl from the Dollar Tree. Santa Fe is the collection, and this is the blue one, of course. And this handle, as you can see, is more likely to be enjoyed by a face latherer and not somebody with a bowl of lather like I have here. But if I can get the knot to behave itself, and if I can get to where I enjoy it or find it interesting or whatever and want to keep it, then I do have a nice handle waiting for it that would probably be a little easier to use in this situation. Oh yeah, see, man, that water might just be perfect. Look at that. Look at that. I think we're in good shape. Let's roll with it. Let's go. Oh, I feel the slickness between my fingers as I'm rinsing them. All right, douse my face in water once again. Less than 24 hours since my last shave. I believe I shaved early in the wee hours of the morning because I couldn't sleep. Pardon me. All right. We're ready to go. We've got the blade in the razor. Let's work that lather into my face. The nice thing about the large knots is that even though they don't splay all that well, they have a wide area, and so it kind of makes up for it. Oh, now look at that. You see that texture on the side there? It's kind of got some pock marks in it. Usually an indicator that the lather needs some more water. At least to fit my preferences. So I can make a little hole in the middle of it, add some water this way. I would not have thought that the lather would need more water when we were looking at it before the shave. Since this knot holds a bunch more water than some of my smaller knots, it might be more convenient to add into the knot a larger, oh man, what a good lather. This soap isn't used as much as it really should be by other shavers, in my opinion. It's just tremendous. This feels terrific going on. I might keep this guy just, you know, because I'm not using him too much in display, but since he's so large, it still feels good. And also, you know what? You never know when your preference is going to change. I love those 3 bands with nice splay, softness. Someday everything could just totally change. Yeah, this feels great. Not scrubby, feels very soft. Okay, I don't really want to spend more time adding water. Who would have thought that this lather would need more water? One of the things we can do is put a little on the side of the brush. You can try that. You can put it in the middle of the brush, which is what I was kind of doing earlier. You can also try it on the side of the brush, and then you're usually better off doing painting strokes like this. Man, tons. I have tons of lather. 25 seconds. Man, I didn't need to load for that long. So that's 4 teaspoons in the lather there. And then in that tweaking, I just added another 2 teaspoons. I'm going to add another 1 teaspoon just into the bowl. We'll mix that up in just a second. So man, I got a lot of soap off that puck. All right, Nacet, let's see how you do in this. Haven't tried him in this vintage flat bottom tech yet. Now, if you would like to know how a hybrid tech shaves, man, it's hard to find those, and so they're kind of coveted to many people. They are a grail, holy grail type razor that they someday hope to obtain. If you want to know kind of how that shaves, I have a rash right here on my neck. I wonder why. It was itching me the other day. I mean, earlier today. Guess I shouldn't shave it. Fortunately, it's kind of out of my zone there. Yeah, this lather needed more water. Look at what was in my goatee. You know what? I can just take what was in my goatee. This is just so slick. And there's my second pass of lather right there. So I definitely could add some concentrate to my, water to my concentrate here. Well, a little bit of tugging, but really not too bad. There are guys out there who only shave with a certain side of the razor. And then once they get a number of shaves under that, you know, 5 shaves, 6 shaves, then they switch to the other side, use the back side. They keep like a tally and all that. I basically just shave with one side until it kind of fills up with lather. Flip it over, shave with that side until it fills up with lather. Then I rinse it out. And that way, I believe the left and right sides get kind of equal wear. And then I don't have to worry about it. All right, I want to rinse. This is my first time looking at this in the mirror. It was itching me so bad. Wonder what it was. I think it's red because I was just itching it so much and I didn't realize I was. And then all of a sudden it's inflamed, you know. All right, I added water to the lather here. Man, it looks like I'll be able to get away with like a 15-second or a 10-second load next time with so much lather here. I'm glad I went with 25 seconds instead of, you know, 30. If you can choose to soak your puck or not. If you don't soak it, then maybe you have a higher load time. If you do soak it, then maybe it's a 10-second load time. If you don't soak it, maybe it's a 40-second. Who knows? You can figure that out yourself. But this lather looks terrific. Just a beautiful, shiny, slick lather. The handle here is just super slippery. And with this soft, look at that, it rolled right down. With this Badger, it just feels amazing, very luxurious. Don't have to scrub too much, just lay down, spread it around, and lay down a nice thin lather. Man, this stuff is so good. In my opinion, even a lot of the new soap bases, like from Barrister and Mann and, you know, folks like that, kind of, I think this slickness I'm experiencing right now just kind of beats them, in my opinion. This is a hard soap, and hard soaps usually don't have as much stuff for your skin. You know, lotions and oils and butters, you know, as the softer soaps can provide. But that's okay. I usually put a balm on after I shave anyway. And again, right here, if I need to touch up, grab some lather from my goatee. And I ended up with probably 3 times as much lather as I needed. Buzz and who was it? Was it HD Shaves? They made a comment on my recent video, at least I think that was who it was. Made a comment on my recent video where it was a morning shave and I had to be really fast. And they said, I don't know what to do with my time. I don't know what to do with 35 minutes of my day because you finished your shave a lot sooner than usual. And it wasn't even a face lather, it was just a fast bowl lather. Apparently there's some kind of 10-minute challenge. Somebody else said you did the 10-minute challenge and you didn't even know it. I have another video out that I did a while back with, I think, Mitchell's wool fat, where I did, in about 9 minutes, I did a whole 3-pass shave, including setup and tear down. And it could have been even faster if I would have left off a thing or two. And so I just did that mainly to, a lot of people come into this kind of shaving with these kind of razors and with brushes and soaps and stuff, and they think, man, that's going to take forever. It doesn't have to. All right, man, the slickness of this soap is tremendous. And I like the scent too. It's not super strong. I kind of wish that it would be a little bit stronger, the Aventus type scent, the Platinum from Fine Accoutrements. They do make a aftershave splash. I've heard it's very intense. I've heard that they raised the prices in the last year or two, and it's not really worth the price that they put it to. But I do have a used set coming to me. Aquamarine is a new scent from Fine, and it is a aquatic with some extra other notes in it, and I'm looking forward to that. I like Acquadigio by Armani, and it's kind of an aquatic as well, and so maybe this will be similar. I'll be able to enjoy that. And that splash will be my first time trying one of their splashes. I do have the little testers. I've tested on this channel a couple of times, and I have enjoyed the scent strength on those. They've lasted a good while. I've been happy with that. So we'll just have to see. They do have some menthol built in, and that's the main reason I've never ordered any. They don't have a lot of skin food. It's mainly just the menthol, alcohol, and fragrance. And that's another reason I haven't really bothered too much. All right, well, we got 3 passes in, and I have tons left in the bowl, and it is slick. Let's just grab up some of this. I mean, it's dense. It just feels luxurious, and the contact slickness is just better than pretty much anything out there. It feels like a greased pig in a good way. And this is also a luxurious lather. If you want to keep it creamy, then this is creamy big time. And it's got resistance. It's got viscosity here, resisting my squeezing a little bit. Obviously, I normally would add more water than this. It's my usual custom, but this got the job done. And man, the slickness, wow. And the great thing is these are hard soap pucks, and that's why I soaked it. The hard ones are the only ones I soak. And so you're going to get a lot of uses out of these. They were about $12.50 when they were offering just the pucks. Now, unfortunately, because the refill puck just wasn't all that popular, you have to pay the full $16 or so to get the full to get the pucks now. Of course, they'll come in a little plastic tub, and so that'll be good for traveling and carrying. Also, obviously, it'll be good for loading from if you aren't like me and have a bunch of these bowls stored up. All right, man, showed you that lather. That's some good lather. To me, it really does beat Barrister and Mann. Holy cow. Noble Otter. Even Declaration Grooming, Bison, one of my favorite bases ever. This is just so slick. It's slick. Anyway, all right. A nice scent. It's light. I'd say 4 out of 10. Not that strong. Not going to get on your nerves. Not going to overwhelm you. If you want the scent to last longer, then get the aftershave. All right, well, let me clean up my brush and all kinds of stuff here. Well, this little guy is a very capable shaver of this razor blade at 232 uses. So that's really pretty neat. It did a pretty good job. How's the gap on that? It's really got quite a gap to it, but I guess it's I don't know if it'll help you to see. You can be able to see it. But it must not be too much of an exposure. The line, if you were to draw a line between the top cap here and the safety bar, maybe the edge, even though there's quite a gap underneath it between the safety bar and the blade edge, the edge must not be sticking out too much. Probably, in a way, just the right amount, because it's smooth but very efficient. Wonderful shaving piece, and it's definitely head heavy because this is a hollow handle and this is a thin one at that. So the balance point is right up here. You don't notice it too much while you let the while you're using it, because there's a little bit of drag, a little bit of weight that's transferred to your face, and so I don't even notice how head heavy it is. But if that's a concern for you, piece of cake, because this is the same threading that everybody uses. Edwin Jagger, Merkur, Parker, all those things. And so Maggard razors, so all those stainless handles that they have, Weber stainless handles, the titanium ones that are on eBay will all fit this little head right here, and you can put this guy back in the case if you were lucky enough to get it with a case. All right. Yeah, it's a good scent. You know, I do have Executive Man from Sterling as a balm here, and it is the same scent. It's inspired by Aventus as well. So many makers have an Aventus inspired scent. I don't think I'll go that way this time. Let me see what I do have though. Let's just see how a standard, pretty flat, regular, authentic sandalwood smells with the Aventus. Yeah, I think that's working nicely together. I've had this balm a long time. I need to use it up more. I don't know when it'll expire. Here's that red splotch. We'll see if that's there tomorrow. Maybe I just got a bug bite and just was scratching it or something like that. Just dropped this guy on the towel, rinsed him out really good. He took an extra long time, even in warm water, and that's something I do bring warm water into my shave for. Normally I just use cool to rinse my face and all that, but I bring warm water in for dense brushes like this. Otherwise it takes a little bit longer to get the soap out from the middle of the knot. Even with vigorous, I have my bowl here and I have the water running into it, and even with vigorous work, it took a little bit to make sure that the middle of this thing didn't have any soap in it anymore. So take extra care with your dense brushes and make sure you get them rinsed really well. And yeah, he is firm, but we'll use him a bunch of times, see if we can get him to open up. And even if he doesn't splay, those tips are so soft and enjoyable. I may just keep him around. I might have to yank this handle off of him, but I may just keep him around. All right, how much water did we use? I put 4 into the puck, and then I used 3. So 7 total. Now, some of that, maybe a teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon, stayed resident, kind of absorbed into the puck. And so not all that, I'm sure, went into the lather, but that's an approximation. And I saved soap by pouring my soak water, my bloom water, into the lather bowl. And so that's another thing you can do. And when you do that, it means you can probably lessen your loading time with the soap if you're planning on using that bloom water, because that's got some good soap juice awesomeness in it. All right, there we go. So the shave went well. Man, the slickness of the lather and the creaminess worked so well with this Badger brush. It really did. It made for a very good feel on the face. And Maseto is a nice entry-level Badger. I think it's a quality entry-level. I think it's a little nicer than like Virginia Ching Badger knots that I've been using lately. Especially the finest Badger. Those tips have been treated, and so they have just extra softness to them. I have a 24 millimeter Memphis handle, is that barber style longer one. 24 millimeter silver tip, and the finest Badger in the Memphis handle, and I really like those brushes a lot. So this is kind of their big brother, and I'm a fan of the Masetos. I think $48 is all for either one of those other Badger brushes, the 24 millimeter. And so I think that's a great price, and I really like those. Highly recommend those Badger brushes to, especially to people who kind of want to get started with them. All right, with Badgers. Okay, loving the scent. I think the sandalwood does go nicely with the Aventus clone with the platinum from Fine Accoutrements. and told you, and the razor did really well. It does great. It's not aggressive, but it's efficient, and it's a nice shaver for me. And even if I have a young blade, super young blade, or apparently now I know that even if I have a really old blade, it works well there too. And so this may be one of my better shaving razors for this Nacet at this age. Now let's take a look at the results. I was so amazed by the lather and my rash here that I just kind of forgot to check out the result. I do see some hairs with some growth on them, with some length on them. And I could probably reduce that with another pass, but I've already shut everything down. On my cheeks, everything is fine. I've got a very close shave there. So I could have done better if I'd have paid better attention. Done another half pass or something like that. I had plenty of lather to do it, that's for sure. All right, well, wonderful shave today. Man, I'm glad I just happened to look down and see my fine soaps, and let's just shave with some platinum today. And I've got a stack. I've stacked those. You can see they have a little ring underneath here that sits where the ring here can nestle up under it for the soap container underneath. You can have a whole column of these guys. And the next one might be the orange citrus, Italian citrus, I think, or something like that. They all smell good. All right. Hey, you guys take care out there with the virus. It looks like we might be seeing some, getting toward the peak, at least here in the U.S. and hopefully other countries as well, especially the ones that kind of started with it before us. It would be great if we could come around the other side of it. Stay healthy as best you can. You guys take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope there's been something in this video that is going to help you out. Take care. Good night.